Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lindsay, the housewife historian, and today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We just got some news about Teresa Giudice and Louis Ellis and a lawsuit that hit yesterday. And so we're going to talk about it today, guys. Make sure that you comment, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. Make sure you guys are respectful in the comments. I know people on both sides of this subject feel very passionate about their beliefs and their side, and we want to just have like an adult conversation. Hey, Yo-Yo, I gotta talk to you later. We want to, just want to be respectful and relay our side of things respectfully, right? Because if we get loud or rude or any of those sort of things, and our point gets lost, right? So let's remember this is entertainment, and this is their real lives, not ours. And we're going to talk about it. So make sure you guys are commenting. Let me know your thoughts. I did not think that we were ever going to hear the name Bo Dietl again. Literally, I didn't think we would. I was shocked to see this pop up yesterday. Did you guys hear about it yesterday? Did you hear about this morning? How did you guys hear about it? If you didn't hear, let me go to, there's been a lot of updated articles since yesterday. I think that a lot of it hit this morning. Let me see. Poor James Leonard. It's a little confusing as well, guys, because we have to remember this is a civil suit. So this is not a criminal suit. This is not the police knocking at your door. This is somebody, which anyone could hypothetically do this, right? It's like filing a police report. Like somebody could file a police report that they saw Elvis. Like they have to take the report. So if you put like the gentleman who, I don't even know what happened with his lawsuit, to be honest, but the gentleman who was suing the Girardis over the Spelling mansion and alleged that they had, illegally taken funds and purchased this property. And some people didn't want to believe it. Some people did, but the lawsuit, it went away. So anyways, we just have to remember it's a civil suit. So it's really their word against whomever they're suing. In this case, it looks like it is some attorneys. It's not actually his ex. So all the other civil suits that we saw, they were filed by Louis' ex. This is not the case for this lawsuit, okay? Also listed as the plaintiffs are, and the defendants are going to be Louis, Bo Dietl, Teresa. Pretty sure her name's on the paperwork too. Now, Page 6 posted this 3 hours ago, so let's go with the most recent one. What it looks like to me is that they're accusing Bo and Louis of hacking into files, computer files, to either look for evidence on Vanessa, find evidence that they knew existed on Vanessa, something that pertained to his lawsuit with Vanessa. Allegedly, we know that Bo worked with Louis on some things, and it's not illegal to hire a private investigator. That's definitely not illegal. In the suit, they also mention unethical. So again, unethical is not necessarily breaking the law, right? We know that Bo, I think he was a police officer for 16 years. So I'm sure that he has a long-standing relationship with, the boys in blue. And we also know that he is, has a lot of ties in the area that he lives in. And he knows a lot of people. He's been there for a very long time. So it's a little surprising. The headline reads, Louis Ellis shares a cryptic message about his tribe before being sued for allegedly harassing his ex. But that's not really let's get into it. It says Louis Ellis was sharing inspirational quotes just hours before it was revealed that he was sued for allegedly hacking computers in order to harass and abuse his ex-fiancee, Vanessa Reiser. So, like, that seems a little bit misleading, right? Because if he hypothetically was hacking computers, it was to get information because they were going through a lawsuit. Hi, Yo-Yo. I missed the new Bodito controversy. Yes. It just hit yesterday, this morning, I think, really. It is basically Louis and Teresa and Beau are named in a lawsuit for unethical acts of hacking into computers to get information on Vanessa because they were in these lawsuits, not Teresa, Louis. Okay, so it says, be the energy you want to attract. Your vibe attracts your tribe. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star cryptically posted to his Instagram story Tuesday morning. Later that day, Page Six obtained court docs that allege Relis, 48, and private investigator Beau hacked into computers, plural. Sorry, I just got an ad that came up. Why did that happen? Hacked into computers. Okay, sorry. Hacked into computers to dig up dirt on Vanessa. The pair are being sued by a group of lawyers who claim the duo illegally accessed sensitive information in their system. Though his ex wasn't named in the suit, one of the plaintiffs, Kevin Johnson, confirmed to the Daily Beast that the individual in question was Vanessa Reiser. So when they speak about the person in the lawsuit, they don't name her. They just say that they allegedly, hacked into these computers to find information about a client that Louis Ellis was, in a lawsuit with. I got the initial stuff, but not yesterday, is what Lisa says. Hi, Lisa. We'll get you up to speed. So they went on to accuse Louis Ellis and his private investigator of being they described as a campaign of alleged harassment and abuse. Now, I read unethical at the beginning when I was looking through the legal docs, and then at the end they did say this. It says the controversial reality star who wed RHONJ OG Teresa Giudice. Why are they calling him a controversial reality star? He's not a reality star. He married a reality star. He's not a reality star. Do you consider their spouses reality stars? Like, do you consider Margaret's husband a reality star, Joe? I don't know. I don't consider him a reality. I feel like he married a reality star, and by default, we've seen him 1 season, 2 seasons on the show, which is fine. But I'm just saying, like, I need you to do a little more before you're a reality star, right? I don't know. Anyways, the controversial reality star who wed RHONJ OG triple Teresa Giudice in 2022 and his alleged accomplices are being sued for damages after allegedly violating the Federal Wiretap Act, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and the New Jersey Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Control Act. So those are some pretty scary terms. They're scary terms because you're talking federal. So whenever you are faced with an indictment, right, a criminal indictment on felonies, you are either charged by a state entity, okay, which means it happened within that state. That's the jurisdiction of the crime. Or you are indicted by the federal government. And the feds step in when it's something that has crossed state lines, when it's, for example, Teresa and Joe were federal because whenever all of the things took place with the home mortgages and the bank loans, the lenders were out of state, okay? So when they were signing loan docs and going back and forth, the government considered that, committing a felony in another state, and so it was a federal case. So what's scary about this is I'm pretty sure on her original charges, it had something to do with a wire fraud. So to use the words, the Federal Wiretap Act, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, and the New Jersey Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance Control Act. It's scary because they're including the crime federally. Like, hi. This is violating the Federal Wiretap Act. And if you don't think so, then you can check with New Jersey, because they also have a same type of law, and it's called the New Jersey Wiretapping and Electronic Surveillance. So they're saying there's possible federal, mishappening, and also state mishappening. But Debbie said, I guess Josephine is more of a reality star than Layla. That's very true. Oh my gosh, Debbie, you're so funny. This is crazy. This is really crazy. I'm honestly with you guys, I'm surprised, because again, Bo is very established. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe they're gonna work this out, pay them. I mean, Louis makes good money. Like, just pay it. And I would be like, what do they want and how much do they want? And here you go, have a great day. Like, I don't know. And I think that it being a group of attorneys, one, that's kind of ballsy. Is there any attorneys in the chat? Anyone? Because again, I know it's attorneys, but at the same time, it's kind of like the police. That they're like a brotherhood, and they don't really like to turn on, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have camaraderie. And I guess attorneys maybe aren't exactly the same way, but to still come together and, sue a private investigator like this, that seems a little crazy to me. Wouldn't they be more of a government case and not civil? So that's what the difference is, Lisa. This is not the government coming to Louis and Teresa and saying that they're breaking any laws or being unethical. This is a group of attorneys that are suing for compensation because they are alleging that Louis and Bo hacked into sensitive information. I don't know if it was necessarily on their system, if you will. Like, if hypothetically Vanessa had an attorney and his name was Dan Schneider, I don't know why. Okay, Vanessa's attorney is Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider's company, his firm, they have their own system that they work off of, right? It's kind of like the dentist office, like medical places, medical and hospital. There's systems that they can pay for each month. That's there's a lot more of a bigger market there. But for smaller things dentist office and attorneys, they have to come up with their own system that they use within their firm or their dental office. And so they're easily hacked, really, really easily hacked, unless if you have really good protection, really good yada, yada, yada. So if somehow they found out that Louis and Bo had hacked into Vanessa's attorney, Dan Schneider's law firm, to look for emails between Vanessa and him, then that would give them reason to file something like this, because they had been violated by them hacking into their system without saying that their system was hacked or compromised. I mean, there was just hackers that hacked into MGM, Caesar's Palace, and another hotel out in Las Vegas, and they had for over a month. So, and we know that, again, this is just people going and filing a civil suit, and anyone can technically write up a legal document and file it, within the jurisdiction of wanting to sue someone. So this is not criminal. This is not the feds. This is not the government. This is not the police. This is not anyone legally saying that they have broken any laws. This is attorneys that are saying they've been violated, that Louis and Bo acted unethically, and etc. So either way, is it bad timing or is it good timing? Because, we kind of heard that Bravo was going to push back the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I keep hearing the word soft pause. That's the word I keep hearing, soft pause. Not always even that we're going to get to see the whole season and then they're going to go on a soft pause. I just keep hearing New Jersey's going on a soft pause. Now, I do think that because they didn't have a group trip, a girls' trip, they lost a lot of content. And they might be struggling to even come up with a full season of content, because I think the producers were really thinking that they were going to force not a sit down necessarily, but a interaction between Melissa and Teresa, right? They thought that if we put all of the ladies together, you know, it's bound to happen. They were traveling to like the Berkshires, like they weren't staying in this huge place. Like they were going to be in a small area. It was going to be bound that Melissa and Teresa were going to have to interact. And so I think producers were counting on that, and they were counting on that build up and counting up on that footage. And now that they don't have it, they could be struggling with the edit is my only logical thing that I can think of, honestly. And we have to remember, guys, if they're not working and their show isn't playing, like they're not getting paid. None of them are. And usually about February, right, is when the new season starts. So hypothetically, this is the time of year that they're anticipating they would start getting, you know, seeing a return because the season would be airing, and that's not the case. So I think that could definitely be terrifying for some of the housewives that really depend on that paycheck. We just seen it happen in the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Candy Burrows, she was like, they just waited too long. They just waited too long. So people have to work and they have to make money. These people have expensive lifestyles. You know, the more you make, the more you spend. That's like life, I feel like. And they have to keep up with it. So I don't know what's going to happen for the future of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, but I honestly feel like something like this helps. Like, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not great, obviously. It's definitely not great. But are people fascinated with Louis and Teresa and they want to know everything about their relationship and their marriage? And I mean, people are obsessed with it. They love it. They, you know, even the other team, right? Even the dark side. Like they're doing cartwheels and somersaults right now as we speak. Like, it does attract attention inevitably to the franchise. And so does that help? Maybe. I mean, it's possible it could help, that it could get attention going and people talking online and people a little bit more interested in the new season. You know, they had 3 new women that they were going to incorporate into the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I just don't think it worked out with any of them. They weren't, the one was a Sports Illustrated model, and I liked her. She was very beautiful. She had twins. Her husband, but I don't know if she just maybe wasn't that interesting. Maybe she wasn't problematic, outspoken. Either way, I don't think any of those women vibed. And so we're kind of left with, again, the same women, everyone doing the same thing they did every season before, except now you don't have the drama of Teresa and her brother and her sister-in-law. Like everyone for so long has been so dependent and just used to being like the supporting actress, if you will, to the Melissa, Teresa, and Joe saga, that they don't have strong storylines. They don't. The other women don't have strong story. Jennifer, she's good. She has the children. I mean, she has been a top tier housewife. I think she's definitely earned her status just by having Margaret out, Bill on national television, and her working it out through the season on air. She could have quit filming. They don't need the money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times when you have wives that don't need that money, if something like this happens, they just walk away. Like Caroline Manzo allegedly did, right? There was allegations that it was about to come out about Al's longtime mistress, and she walked away. She didn't want it, and that's her prerogative. But I think that when you show us the good and the bad and the vulnerable, you get a better response from the audience, and you get people who can relate better. And so you have a better fan base. Look at Danielle Cabral. I mean, she's not doing great on the internet lately. I noticed like she's not getting great press. I don't think that she has much of her own unique following of fans per se. And I think a lot of the love and support that she saw online leading up to her first season and also during her first season was Teresa and Jennifer fans, because they were bringing her into the inner circle, right? Louis and Teresa were having dinners with Danielle and Nate. You know, producers wanted them out and about, and that was before the season even started filming. So Danielle sort of had the luxury of a lot of online support and good press because of, you know, Teresa's fans who were posting in favor, in good, what is the word I'm looking for? Like in good faith, right? That Danielle was on the team and part of the team and was, working with the team. And now that she's not, I think that she's seeing a turnaround on the internet of what people are saying and commenting and posting about her. And I think it's getting to her a little bit because she's posted some TikToks about it. And I think she tries to make humor out of it, but I don't know if if that's what it's giving. It seems stupid. If they know who did it, then they ought to bring a criminal case. So I think that what happens is that civil suits, for example, they are financial gain. Okay. So you don't have to necessarily break the law to have a civil suit filed against you. Okay. Like, for example, if somebody stops paying their rent and they move out, like maybe they don't even wait for eviction. Maybe they owe like 2 months rent, $4,000, and they just move out. They don't pay it, but they don't wait to be evicted. They don't trash the place, etc. The landlord would then sue them civilly for that money, and then of course for their own time and damages, and their own attorney fees. But it wasn't necessarily breaking a law. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't really, they didn't pay their rent, right? Which is unethical. But it wasn't against the law. So that's why they're allowed to file it in civil suit. So the attorneys are the ones that are saying they broke the law. They broke these wiretapping laws and such. But an attorney is not it has to be somebody within the judicial system, that feels a crime has been committed for them to press charges. Now, could this trigger an investigation? Does that happen? Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people will file civil suits because of the fact that there is a lot more, I don't want to say litigation, but there's a lot more, it's way different than criminal. For example, O.J. Simpson, after he was found not guilty, Nicole Brown's family filed a civil suit against O.J. Simpson, and they found him guilty on the civil suit, but not guilty on the criminal case. So how does that happen, right? How does that happen? How can O.J. Simpson not be guilty criminally, but he's guilty civilly, and he owes their family money for the unaliving of their, daughter and sister? So that's the system, unfortunately. But that's how it works. So but again, something like this, if there isn't something criminally attached to it, does it trigger it? I don't know necessarily for this area, because again, I'm surprised to even see this. We talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey being a lot like mob wives. Also, if you guys didn't know, John Gotti's daughter and ex-wife, is he passed? I think John Gotti passed. Okay, well, his wife, the widow, they got into a fist fight at, I think it was the Suns basketball game. And they got arrested. It got bad. Like the mom, I guess, first got into it. I want to find the exact article. It was John Gotti's wife and daughter. The daughter plays professional basketball, I think. They got arrested at the actual stadium. John Gotti's wife and daughter get arrested. Yes, they were charged with assault after a fight at the high school. So Kimberly Gotti, who's 55, and Gianna Gotti, who's 23. Yeah. So they said that when they came there, they asked Kimberly Gotti if she wanted to press charges, and she said no. And they said, okay, turn around, we're arresting you. It says, quote, they refused to press charges against the lady who assaulted my wife. Oh, it's John Gotti. Oh, John Gotti Jr. Thank you. Pause. John Gotti Jr.'s wife and daughter were arrested Thursday night after a fight at the high school basketball game on Long Island. It happened at Locust Valley High School in Lannington. John Jr. Gotti, the former boss of a crime family, left the arraigned court in Hempstead, defending his wife and daughter who were charged with assault and spent the night in jail. Oh, no problem, Lisa. That's why I love to talk about this stuff, because it's not easy to understand. And I think it's obviously made that way on purpose, but it is confusing. It's not made easy for us to understand. And that's why like we can be misled easily because it's all so confusing. And that's why I love to talk. I love to talk about this sort of thing. So I'm happy to answer any questions. If anyone has any, you can put them in the comments. So the Gaudis refused to press charges against the other people, but the other people wanted to press charges. So it says, according to the court papers, Kimberly Gotti and Gianna Gotti got into a brawl with a woman at the high school while watching a game versus the rival Oyster Bay High. Oyster Bay High? What the hell? Oyster Bay High? Well, it was Locust Valley High versus Oyster Bay High. And John Gotti's son was on the court. When Joe had the ball, he was going to make a free throw. This woman was kind of abusing Joe, and the mom, rightfully so, it's a mother's instinct, turned around and said, listen, leave my son alone. Stop bothering him. What's wrong with you? John Gotti's attorney said, she threw a punch. She hit my wife in the head. But the victim told police the fight erupted after she asked someone to stop cursing at the students and punches were thrown. At that point, I felt my hair being pulled and my wig came off, which was held on by 3 clips and Velcro, the victim said. I felt as if my scalp was being ripped off, and I observed the lady in the gray jacket pulling my hair. Wow. So then Gianna runs in. She's the daughter. You know, she says, get off my effing mother. That's my kind of daughter. And they get arrested. So Ian spent the night in jail. I can't believe they didn't let them post a bond. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be getting in fistfights with John Gotti Jr.'s wife and daughter. I don't care if it was over high school. If you were swearing at my kid, I'd be like, okay, we're going to leave. Thank you. Have a great day. This has been so fun. I'll bring cookies for you guys. It's no problem. We're not upset. We no hard feelings here. We love you guys. What? Anyway, so I guess that means Joe Gorga got lucky. Like no, you know, they kicked him out of the game instead of letting him like fist fight someone, because apparently you go to jail for that in New York and New Jersey and you are charged with assault. So that's crazy. But back to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa and Louis debacle. I do know that the Namaste Bitches posted a new episode from their podcast today, and it was good. I listened to it. It was funny. Melissa Feaster, she makes me laugh because she's so down to earth, and she, like I said, she's like sitting in a $14 million mansion on Manhattan Beach in California. Just so down to earth and so sweet. And I think she's been sick, and she was just talking about it. And, you know, Teresa, she's like, I can't hear this. Like, Teresa's like, I take 5 baths a day when I'm sick because I like to feel clean. And Melissa's like, yeah, but it was cute. Anyways, so the timing's a little strange that this came a day before Valentine's Day. Does anyone else think that's a little weird? Is that like cryptic, or is that just me? I feel like that's a little weird that it would come out the day before Valentine's Day. Was that like their anniversary or something? I feel like this date means something. Like even though she's not listed, her attorney is listed. I don't know, guys. This is really crazy. But you know who probably does know? Kim D. Isn't Kim D and Vanessa like friends? I think they are. Kim D gonna be like selling her Patreon all day. Kim D about to up her monthly charges. She's gonna be like, y'all gonna pay me for my info. But yeah, I don't know. I feel really bad for Teresa because of the fact that I feel like the worst thing that can happen after you've been through something as traumatic as prison is to deal with the legal system again years later, because it's so terrible and it's such a terrible traumatic experience, like I said. And so the worst case scenario is like having to deal with anything like that again because you have trauma. Like you know, just hearing her name involved in anything like that probably freaks her all the way out because she's been to prison. Like somebody who's not been to prison isn't gonna have that same like, oh my gosh, versus somebody else that has been. Because I'm just saying. Melissa and Joe posted a photo that said Happy Valentine's Day, and it says, it was a cake. Joe's holding a cake. He's rolling his eyes, and the cake says, I would love to sprinkle your cookie, Melissa. again with the sprinkled cookies. Everyone always says that Melissa, monetizes or networks with the whole sprinkle cookie thing, and she has been for years and years, and she has been. Honestly, that's the truth. I'm like I said, I'm sure her camp is rainbows and butterflies, and maybe this will drum up some press for the new season. Maybe this will put pressure on the executives and the production to get it out and get it ready to go, because I already feel like we're not going to have a lot to watch. They're airing everything now: Potomac, Beverly Hills, and Vanderpump Rules, and I mean, there's just not Atlanta. They know Portia Williams Gambardella is coming back, and Andy Cohen already made a really bad joke. Yeah, because honestly, do you guys remember Portia and the whole stripper thing? I know it's been a couple of years, but that was like hot tea at the time. That was a big deal. It was a big deal, because Portia and the stripper, yeah, they could have hooked up, but there was a third person involved, and that third person had like a life partner. And it was just very scandalous, very scandalous. And I think that she didn't want to maybe have that hanging over her head, like go right into another season and then another season like that. And then also, if you remember, she did the Family Matters, I think it was called Family Matters, and they went to Mexico with Dennis and his family, and shit got crazy. So I think she just had to let things die down, but allegedly she's making her way back to Atlanta, and people are ready for her. So Debbie says, it sounds like another witch hunt. I wouldn't be surprised if Margaret Joseph was involved. Louis went to court in front of a judge, and he determined it was his ex who was the stalker. Yes, you are very much right, Debbie. It does sort of feel like that, because in what situation do you ever see a group of attorneys get together and sue a private investigator and another attorney over things, that legalities that may or may not have affected them? I guess if technically they're saying, Deb, that he obtained information illegally through the computer hacking, and he used it in the trial that we're talking about, where the judge determined he was the stalker. So I think what they're trying to prove is that the judge that made that decision didn't have, he had information from the defendant that was illegally obtained or unethically obtained. First, they're going to start unethically, then it will be illegally. If that's the case, then that would make the judge's determination. What does that mean? Do you know what I'm saying? It means his determination could not stand. They could file an appeal. They could, that could change things. So is it financial? Maybe. But again, if a judge determined Louis was the stalker, or Louis was not the stalker, if there was information that was used in that trial on Louis's behalf that was obtained by a private investigator unethically or legally, if he broke these New Jersey wiretap laws and federal laws that the attorneys are stating, then that would leave a very big opportunity for Vanessa to, not overturn, but like take that judge's determination and either probably refile, to be honest with you, probably file another suit on top of it, like including everything that happened. So I don't know. It's pretty, again, not something that I expected that we would see. I mean, Beau is very connected. We know, did you guys see the interview that he did with Behind the Velvet Rope? David Yontef interviewed him on Behind the Velvet Rope. I don't know, like after the season. I don't think it was during the season. And it was a long interview. He gave a lot, he talked a lot, and David asked him a lot of great questions. But he confessed his, love to people that are, connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you rarely see the Manzos, like you wouldn't see them in the headlines for something too crazy. You know what I mean? Like, obviously when everything happened with Tommy, they had to do what they had to do. But if you notice, he hasn't went to trial. and he was arrested a long time ago. You know what I mean? So there's like different ways when you're connected and you know people, and if you're in a corrupt area where there's a lot of connected people or unethical people, or just like Tom Girardi, who allegedly had everyone bought. He had positioned himself perfectly. He had donated so much money to political issues and people and judges and prosecutors, and he was playing chess, and he was putting people exactly where they needed to be so that he could continue to go about taking people's money. And the bar association not doing anything with any of the complaints that it got in an entire decade of Tom taking people's money. So these things happen. You do have people in place sometimes for specific reasons. So it just seems a little crazy. And I feel like this is not going to be good for a couple of reasons. One, it's putting Louis and Teresa's name both on it. So that's giving her some financial responsibility there. Okay. That means that, okay, I'm trying to think of an example that I can use. Who was it that was about to get sued? Oh, Kyle and Mauricio from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Mauricio was being sued over this Malibu mansion, right? It was a $30 million profit that he turned on this house that he sold for like 11 million. It was like the Nigerian government that he kind of basically sort of allegedly ripped off. Anyways, a lot of people were speculating when he was taken to court and things started to get, more and more serious, that Kyle and Mauricio had separated for their financial, not gain, but their financial safety, because from the point that they would legally separate, then her money would be hers, his money would be his moving forward. And that would allow them to at least protect her funds, and he could probably give her funds that she could protect for him. You know what I'm saying? So now you have a husband and a wife. So the outcome is going to leave both of them liable financially. Okay. And I don't think that Teresa wants to be financially liable to anything that's like connected to any of this. And it's going to make it difficult because Louis is going to say, I got this. I got this, honey. Don't you worry. You just sit back and don't worry. I'm going to take care of everything, right? Probably what Juicy Joe told her too. Just sit back. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. And she is going to have James Leonard, who is her attorney. He's been her family, for years. And I think that she trusts him. I think we trust him. The fans trust him. I met him at the Namaste Bitches podcast event, and he was very lovely. He was very respectful. He had, he's a family man, and he, I think, is a nice person. And I think that he does genuinely have Teresa's best interest at heart. And just like when Juicy Joe was he was detained in ICE and he was fighting his deportation, James Leonard said, like, you're gonna waste all of your money trying to fight this, and it's not gonna go anywhere. And he could have just kept taking her money. Like a lot of attorneys, they would have just kept taking her money and being like, yeah, we're gonna make it happen this time. And he was like, listen, you're gonna literally spend all your money trying to get him not deported, and he's still gonna get deported, so let's move on. And even told her she should lose her license. So I don't really get it. I know, that's crazy, Debbie. Well, again, because anyone can file a civil suit. And she has just filed so many civil suits that she, one, probably couldn't file. I don't know what the legality is on that. I mean, I think the courts would definitely frown upon seeing another lawsuit come in that district. With the same accusations after a judge had determined, that she was the stalker. But again, she's basically alleging that any information, not any information, but important information that helped Louis win the case was obtained illegally. So that's her way of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, not just disqualifying, but like basically throwing like a ball, like a question mark of if it's legal, because it wouldn't matter if the information was true or not. It would matter if they committed a crime while they obtained it. So any information that they might have known about Vanessa that they used in the trial to use against her, if it wasn't obtained legally, then no matter, even if it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's just like whenever you have a converse, you tape somebody, right? So there's the like the 3-part states or whatever where you can like go somewhere, I think, and you can record them, and it's considered okay. Like they'll consider it in court. But there's other states who have a different law where you can't record somebody without them knowing it, right? And so some of it is admissible in court and some of it isn't. So it depends on what state you're in. But hypothetically, if you're in a state where you're not allowed to record people and you have a conversation with, I don't even know, I mean, it could be somebody who tells you that they unalived somebody and they're in their freezer. What can you do? You know what I mean? Like, but it doesn't matter because the information would have been obtained illegally. So this person tells you they committed a crime and they got the information, illegally, then it doesn't matter. It's invalid. You couldn't use the recording because it wasn't obtained legally. I would think since he was the one going through it, he knew everything about her. She was contacted by MJ and JG before they even met, and she told that in court. Yes, I heard that as well, Debbie, and it really seemed like it was a group effort from Teresa's own family and brother and MJ. I think that they possibly had dirt on him before he came on the show, and if you go back and watch episodes, you will see Joe Gorga saying, bring him on the show. He was saying things like, I can tell my sister's in love. She really loves him. Bring him on the show, Teresa. Bring him on the show. What was Margaret Joseph saying? Bring him on the show, Teresa. When are you going to bring him on the show? Remember? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I kind of want to wait and take things slow and see how it goes. But they were pressured. They were lightweight pressuring her to bring him onto the show, and come to find out, they already knew all of this dirt about him. So it's like it was a setup. Like, oh yeah, Teresa, bring him onto the show because we got all this tea on him and we're going to start sprinkling it. And, this is going to, I don't know if they did it to be vengeful. I don't know if they did it for a storyline. I don't know. But that's definitely what it feels like when you think about it. If you go back and watch the season leading up to Louis Reales being introduced, the entire season, MJ especially, and her brother were in her ear talking about bringing him onto the show. That's the truth. So if they knew, I don't even think it was like, I don't even think they had that much, like, not, I don't even want to say like there was terrible things about him, but like the video of the men's retreat that he went on and just information that allegedly they were getting from his ex. So they had all of this tea already, and they are telling her, bring him on the show, because all they got to do is find a way to drop it and keep their hands clean. And Margaret probably managed to do that best. I mean, maybe not, maybe Joe and Melissa, because I don't think that we thought that they had contact with Vanessa like that, but we're finding out that allegedly Jackie Goldschneider was the first to invite her, I guess, into her house, and then Margaret took it over from there. So again, before Louis was on the show. So that means like when they heard they were dating, they were making moves. That's crazy. That's crazy. And now all this time later, they're married. They've been married for over a year now. And there's, the lawsuit happened and the judge, was in Louis' favor. And now this is happening. And again, they're throwing Teresa's name on there. She didn't have anything to do with any of this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she did not have anything to do with any of this. What? And again, you're like guilty by association. I mean, unfortunately saying like, I don't know, it just doesn't work within our judicial system. Like, it doesn't matter if you didn't know that you were doing something wrong. It doesn't matter that you didn't know what you were signing. Like, it's your responsibility to, I guess, understand and, if you don't know, find out. And so that's why so many people are so surprised when you see a situation or somebody like Kyle Richards, who is very wealthy and makes her own money. And she says things like, oh, I just sign away and Mauricio gives me the paperwork and I just sign. And it's like, but you don't even have to do that. Like, you have you know what I'm saying? So you got to learn from other people's mistakes, ladies, right? You're guilty by association. It doesn't matter if you didn't know. That doesn't work. It doesn't matter that you didn't know. You had a responsibility to know. You had a responsibility, if you didn't know, to ask someone, ask legal advice, do whatever you got to do to make sure that what you're signing or what you're taking part in is legal. It doesn't matter that it was your husband. It doesn't matter that it was your mother. It doesn't matter that it was your daughter. Like, it doesn't matter. The court does not care. They do not care. And we've seen that in Teresa's case. And that should be a lesson to all of these housewives, because I don't think Erica Girardi is done yet. I'm telling you, you guys, if you're watching the Hulu special, there's been some things that have been exposed. And I've been saying for a long time, allegedly, in my opinion, that Erica is very much working with the government when it comes to Tom Girardi. We've seen Tom's CFO of Girardi and Case be arrested at the JFK airport after he had fled to the Bahamas and bought a home there. But he missed his family, like they all do. They always screw up, but they miss their family and they come home to visit and they get arrested. And then Tom was indicted on criminal charges. And I think that Erica has either been granted immunity or something, but she's helping them. And it comes out, and I've been saying this for months. You can go back and listen to NYC Gal Out. She has an amazing podcast and she hosts me every Thursday. So you guys should definitely check that out. We talk Beverly Hills, but I always say that I think she's been working with the federal government. And now the Hulu series dropped. And guess what? She was working with the federal government, not on Tom's case, but on another case. I didn't know this part. So Erica was working with these dress designers. She had given them, I think it was, her Amex card. She just told them to charge whatever. I think that they worked together for a couple of years. It totaled somewhere between like 65 and 80. I think, I'm not sure of the exact amount, but Tom got upset and after 2 years, and he called the Amex card and did chargebacks. So basically giving the credit card back their money, but it takes the money from the merchant. And they were friends, right? But as soon as it came down to them or her, she threw him to the wolves and allegedly even wore a wire on them. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So I do not think for one second that she's not helping the government in any way that she could to help herself. She wore a wire. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Has anyone watched the Hulu series? Oh, Lisa, they're like, back to New Jersey, bitch. Okay, Lisa, we'll talk New Jersey. I'm sorry, guys. Back to filming. I think they need to get rid of Melissa and Danielle. They would still have drama, Marge, and it would work well. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Like, the Fudas are a mess, too. Like, they're not great either. I feel like thank you, Lisa. She's like, it was great info, but I just want to talk about New Jersey. We can talk about New Jersey. In the comments, guys, any questions or any comments about this? Sorry. I'm looking right now. I'm checking my DMs because someone's supposed to be reaching out in a little bit. Some of my sources. Because a lot of people of mine are on California time. They're like California, West Coast, Las Vegas, like Sherelle's world. She's, I think, yeah, Vegas is 3 hours from me too. So I'm always like up in the morning, like these people. It did not do any, Barbara, I do not think it did any favors either. I do not. me see here. Also, Portia Williams coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Nene Leakes, she is hosting a reunion. Did you guys know that? She might have fallen on hard times too. We're gonna come back to New Jersey. We're gonna talk about them. Sorry, I just wanted to say that because I think that's sad to hear. I don't want to hear about Nene having financial problems. Oh, I just wanted to tell you that the joke that Andy Cohen did about Portia was not funny. Like, they're already starting to clown on her about the stripper gate thing again, because he was like, and coming back to Atlanta is Portia Gombadia, and we got her a welcome back gift. And up behind Andy was a photo of Bolo, the stripper, in like the cage. So like the stripper was the gift, and he was like, haha, just kidding. I'm like, I don't feel like that's going to go over great with her new husband. I don't know if that's the jokes that you should be making already. Like, come on, Andy. Simmer down, simmer down. He was getting a lot of hate on Twitter as well today. I screenshotted it. I was going to post it for you guys. But I haven't had a chance yet. He's always like posting on people's things and getting people riled up first thing in the morning. So anyway, guys, so with this Real Housewives of New Jersey, I think we're still going to be getting Dolores next season. We know that. We've been seeing Pauly posting. He posted this thing. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like a picture of him, and it said something like, come get your gift or something. And he had like a emoji like over his. People were like, oh my, really? Whatevs. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap up this live. I just wanted to come on shortly and tell you guys what I had heard, what's been going on. I'm still working with my sources to see what we can find out, to see what the network, like, are we gonna be getting the premiere in April? What's happening? I need to know. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always DM me. Find me on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok at HWHistorian with the number 2. You can find me there on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure that you comment and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you have any questions or concerns or any topics you would like to discuss further, let me know in the comments. And have a great day, guys.